Hey. I was thinking. So I wanted to come on here and share my thoughts with you. First of all, I let the sun go down. So there's no natural light coming through my window, which is why I'm looking like this. It's total darkness out there. So I had to turn on a light. But I was thinking about my presentation this last Saturday, my workshop. I Need a Man. It was so good. So good. I was so happy how it turned out. The night before, I had gone over the presentation with a friend of mine. And as I was going through it, I was like, this is really good. And so I was excited. But I can tell you the people, the participants, the engagement, the energy, it just took it to a whole nother level. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to pour into these women and for them to pour into me as well. The presentation, the workshop where we actually did work, it was supposed to be for 2 hours. When we came upon the 2 hour mark, I knew that there were still things that I wanted to do and to talk about, etc. And so I made the offer for people who wanted to stay on. And we stayed on for another hour. At that point, I knew after three, I was like, okay, I'm tired of talking. So we're going to have to end this thing. But they want a part two. I mean, it was just that good. So I definitely went to bed smiling that day. I was so tired because, in those situations, when you give so much of yourself, you kind of get drained. And I needed to, you know, re energize myself. So I just rested on Saturday and Sunday. But the wonderful messages I've received from people, the text messages, the email, the inboxes in my Facebook, like I really felt good about what I did. There were many things that I heard people, and I'll use the word complain. I don't know if that's the right word, but I've heard some things from people who said some stuff prior to the workshop, people who did not participate in the workshop. When I decided the title of the workshop, it came to me after we had the tornado warning here in Cleveland. It came at 12:12 a.m. and it said, go downstairs. And I remember thinking, like, I don't want to go to my basement. Like, I was like, no, I'll go to inside bathroom. And then next morning, while I was in the shower, I was like, I need a man. That's the thought that came to my mind. And I remember when I said need, I said, and I'm saying need because it's the intention behind it. I could easily say I want a man, but that leaves room for choices, whether I get one or not. No. I need a man for the life that I want to live, for the partnership that I desire to have. I need a man. And so when I came on and I was talking about the lessons that I learned from the tornado watch or warning, I started it with I need a man. And someone else said, you know what, me too. If you do a workshop on it, let me know. And that's when it kind of clicked like, hey, I could do something on this. And I sat on it for a while. I wanted to think it through to see what I could give to someone to help them in that journey. And even when I marketed this program, I would talk about the outcomes that people could get, but I didn't talk about the how. And I did that intentionally because I didn't want to turn people away when they heard work, that we were actually going to be doing some work. But it was really, really good. I am grateful for the people who came because the people who came were the people who were meant to be there. I heard people say they had problems with the word need, that it sounded desperate. Again, that was not my intention with the word. And the reason I chose the word need was because of the intention behind it, right? It was not about being desperate, but it's just recognizing that I need a man in my life, not for the financial part, not for that, but for the companionship, for the conversation, for the intimacy, for the plus one, and not my friends, right? I have a lot of girlfriends. I have a lot of male friends. I'm not talking about them. But people had a problem with the word need. And if you're listening to this and you were one, no, it wasn't just you. So I'm not just talking about you. But I wasn't going to change that because I knew why I said need and what I wanted to give people in regards to this presentation, because it was about needing a man. I also heard people talk about, why would you pay for something like that? Now, mind you, the fee was $12.12. And I chose that because it was 12:12 a.m. And the angel number for 12:12 deals with love. So I thought it just all went together. So 12:12, a nominal fee, someone had a problem with someone paying for a workshop that they didn't even know what the workshop entailed. I can tell you the value people walked away with was way more than 12:12. And if I decide to do this again, it would not be that low. I have the replay and I'm thinking about offering it up to people, and it still won't be 12:12. It was just a really, really good conversation. What I loved about it is the fact that I had on a licensed professional who deals with relationships. She's a counselor. And that was another complaint that people had. Is she bringing in a therapist, a counselor? I wanted to go deep in this presentation, and she was the right person to do it. It was so good, so good. I really wish you would have joined me if you need a man, because it was all of that. And I'm not saying that bragging on myself. I know what I bring to the table. I know that I am, this is what I did for my job as far as training. And so I know that I am able to bring value to people. But it was great to have someone else to tag team with. And I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. And others felt the same way too. So I just wanted to come on and say thank you to those who supported. Thank you to those who wanted to support and couldn't because you had other obligations. I had tons of people sending me message Saturday morning, letting me know that they couldn't, join me, but wishing me well with the presentation. But it was good. It was so, 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 so good. And the thing that I loved about it too is that it was a somewhat diverse group of women. Most of the women were women around my age, but we had someone, we went up to 70. We also had people who were not, of the same race as I am. It was just good. And the thing that I loved about it is because it was a reminder, and especially to my one friend who said, it was a reminder for her that her whiteness is not the gold standard. That was deep. That was deep. But she's someone that I love anyway. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, and I really do admire her. But when she said that, I thought about it like, we do all want the same thing, to be happy. That's what we all desire. If we could get past all the other stuff that really doesn't matter, we will realize that we all want the same thing. And so I appreciated those who joined, who trusted me in this process, not knowing what they were getting, because they truly was just going with the flow and just waiting to see what I was going to offer to them. And so I am grateful. And if you have any interest in seeing the replay and purchasing the right to see it for a week, because that's all I'm giving people is a week to be able to look at it. But I think it would be really good because of the value that was there and the conversations that were had. Yeah. But I'm happy about it. And one thing that I do know, I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm not the relationship type person. I'm not a expert on relationships. You know, people may be looking at me and say, you know, how are you doing this workshop when you don't have a man? When the reality of the workshop was because I don't, right? I need a man. And so the things that I taught people to do, I am doing myself. I am doing myself. But I realized in the conversations that I had with people that even though I may not be in a relationship, I'm in the journey too to finding my man. But there is some things, some disconnects that we deal with that we have to work through. And so I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of something talking about relationships. I haven't figured out what it looks like yet and what I would talk about, but just little tidbits of things that I learned by doing this workshop. And what I will say is that we have work to do. And I'm saying we as women. Yeah, I'm not letting men off the hook at all, but I'm just speaking as a woman and from the things that I heard about from other women, we have work to do. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you for listening. I'm going to end this because I know it's long already. But I just couldn't let another day go by without me talking about this amazing workshop that I had with some amazing, amazing women. So take care of yourself and pay attention to what's coming because I'm going to be doing a part 2, 3, 4, and just sharing some stuff. All righty. Bye-bye.